So the Giants have announced that they will be going to Jaxson Dart to start against the Chargers. This is a whirlwind right now. You can't say we didn't see it coming. This is what the Giants do, and I don't even know if I completely disagree with this decision, but this is what the Giants do, right? They are very reactive, and so now we're going to see Dart. And I mentioned that I don't think you're going to see much difference with Dart being in there, right? Especially since we're going to be playing the Chargers, who are pretty good. I think it's going to look largely the same. He can operate the RPO a little better, so they might have a little bit better of a run game. Maybe get an extra touchdown, but you're going to see more turnovers, and you're not going to see that many more points. Maybe they score 13 points instead of 10 or 9. You know, maybe we could keep a kicker. How about that? Can we bring a kicker in whose leg doesn't fall off when they warm up in pregame? That might help us win. So now I don't know if this is necessarily the wrong move or the right move. On the one hand, you could say, oh, Russell Wilson, it's only been 3 games. He had the one game against the Cowboys that was good, even though I said it in my video. That was more about the Cowboys being bad than it was the Giants being good. Okay, they didn't just wake up in week 2 and go, oh my God, we know how to play football now. So that was more about the Cowboys being bad. But after 3 games, you're making this switch. Is it the right call? Here's how I look at it. You're not going anywhere with Russell Wilson. Okay? Russell Wilson was brought in here to win games, and we are 0-3. Right? He was brought in here to win some games, maybe not light the world on fire, but maybe go 500. Maybe be 1-2 right now, 2-1. Go, maybe 3-3 over 6 games. Keep the Giants going while Dart learns, sees what it's like to be in an NFL game, and all of that. But we're 0-3. And we as fans only see, on Sunday what's going on. But we don't know, there was always talk about how, Russell Wilson can't throw to the middle of the field. Whether it's because he can't see, because he's small, whatever it is, he can't throw to the middle of the field. So is this like enough is enough because the offensive coordinator, Kafka's like, listen, you're handicapping me here. Half my playbook I can't use. I don't know. Is it just reactionary because the fans were saying we want Dart? Again, I don't know. And forget about, they should go to Jameis Winston. Why? Here's the question. And I know people, the coaches are trying to save their job, and that's not a good reason to put a quarterback in. But what are we doing with like, it's one thing if we were like 1-2, right, or 2-2, or 3-2, or whatever, and it's like we could do something here, and we don't want to necessarily throw the season away by putting in a rookie who he's going to lose games and just develop. That's not fair to the other guys on the team. Even though they did do that with Eli Manning, we were 5-4, and they put Eli Manning in. But we're not. We're 0-3. And even if, let's just say Russell Wilson goes out and beats the Chargers, okay, so we'd be 1-3. What are we doing? He's not going to be here next year. You're not going to win enough games to probably even have a 500 record. So what are we watching here? So move on. I would say maybe if you can trade him, leave Winston as the backup, put Dart in now because, you're going to see a very similar product with Dart. In terms of winning and losing and maybe turnovers. You're not going to see, they're going to try to run the offense a little differently, but the result is going to be very similar, but at least we can feel like, this could be the future. I remember watching when Eli Manning came in his rookie year, and he was horrible. He had spots. He threw 4 touchdowns, I think, against the Steelers in one of the weeks, but he lost all his games except for the last one against the Cowboys, right? But each week you still wanted to watch because I wanted to see, does he make progress from last week, right? Last week he threw 2 picks and no touchdowns. Maybe this week he'll throw 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and have a better completion percentage, and he's learning. At least there's something to watch because whether it's Dart, whether it's Winston, whether it's Wilson, they're not going to have a 500 record, and they're not going to go to the playoffs. So you got to give the fans something else to watch. Okay. And for this whole talk about, oh, he's going to get ruined, and he's a football player, all right? You go in and you play football. All these media channels are talking about, oh, they're going to ruin him, and you got to wait till he's ready. How do you get ready to play your first football game? You play it. There's nothing, you could practice until you're blue in the face. There's nothing that's going to prepare you for playing in your first football game. That's like saying, well, before you play in a Super Bowl, you should have experience in the Super Bowl. Like, there's nothing that prepares you for playing in a Super Bowl other than playing in a Super Bowl. Okay? So put the kid in. Okay? He's a football player. If he is who we think he is, he'll go out there and make plays and he'll get it going. He's not going to get ruined. First of all, you can't hit quarterbacks today like you could, back in the day, like when the David Carr days. Put him in, let him play, let him learn. We're not going to win a whole lot, and maybe he'll steal a game here or two, but we're mostly not going to win, but at least there'll be something else to watch. So I'm sick of this, oh, he's not ready. Okay, Peyton Manning said, you know how you get better in the NFL? You play games. He goes, yeah, you can practice and do all that, but you got to play the games. And yes, you want him to know the playbook. You want him to know how, the different protection calls, although I think largely that could be put on to the offensive line. Like the center can change the protections, but you do want him to understand those things. You want him to understand basic quarterbacking, like, hey, when they're coming with a all-out blitz, you usually want to throw the ball into where the blitz is coming from because it means there's somebody open behind, right? These things are things that you should probably know before you make your first start. But my thought is he does know them. Otherwise, why would they make him the backup where he is one 36-year-old Russell Wilson injury away from being the starter anyway? So my guess is that he knows those things already. So now it's just a matter of going out there and making these plays at game speed against defenses that are actually trying. And there's nothing that can prepare you for that other than going and doing it. Okay? As far as bringing him in against the Chargers, here's the thing. Why not? We're 0-3. You have nothing to lose. What are we going to lose the game against the Chargers? So what? We'll be 0-4. Probably going to be 0-4 anyway. And as far as it being a tough team, what does it matter? First of all, it's the NFL. There's parity. Okay? All the teams are going to be tough. That's why they're professional football teams. Unless you're playing the Giants, then it's an easy game. But Dart can't play himself. So all the games are going to be tough. Okay, yeah, and okay, the Saints next week. So it's good. Saints are not a good team, and he'll have one game under his belt. So that'll help ensure that maybe we can beat the Saints, although I don't even know. But after that, then it's the Eagles, it's the Broncos, it's the Eagles again, right? You got to play these really good teams. You're going to have to play the Cowboys again. They're not really good, but, that might end up being his best game. You got to play the Commanders again. You got to play the Packers. You got to play the Lions. There's really no. These are NFL teams. Okay, stop with like, oh, maybe he can come in and play against this team because their quarterback's gonna be. Just put him. If we have to do that already, just trade Dart then, because you already have no faith in him to do anything, right? I know they're rookies, but even as a rookie, you should have faith in your guy to say, I think he could go out and do what we need him to do. And if you're already like, ooh, we got to put him in bubble wrap, but we got to protect him, and then trade him, because then you already don't have faith in him. Okay, like I said, they threw Eli Manning out there, not at the very beginning, but they put him out there in his rookie year. Peyton Manning started in his rookie year, looked horrible, but you know what? He learned from that, and the next year he had a great year. Okay, and in my opinion, you can sit a guy and then he could look like a rookie like J.J. McCarthy, right? J.J. McCarthy sat technically his first year because he was injured, but even though he was injured, he was still around doing the same thing that a backup who's not playing would do, like watching film probably, being in the quarterback meetings, doing all that. But then he comes out and he's playing like a rookie, even though it's his second year. Now, if he had played all last year, he would be looking like who knows? He might still look bad, but there's a chance he could look more comfortable. But he's coming out now in his second year and looking like a rookie because he didn't play it all last year because he was injured. So it doesn't really matter. And for the people who go, oh, well, Patrick Mahomes sat and for a year and he was great, and like Aaron Rodgers sat for like 2 years, and so we really think that Patrick Mahomes spending 1 year sitting behind Alex Smith is what made him Patrick Mahomes. And if he would have started right from the beginning, he would have been like Dan Orlovsky or whatever his name is, running out of the back of the end zone for safeties. And no, it might have taken him, maybe he would have had to take some lumps for the first 6 to 8 games and then put it together, but he still would have progressed into what he is. And on the flip side, Josh Allen played in his rookie year. He's great. Okay? Same thing, Aaron Rodgers sat for 2 years. You really think if they started Aaron Rodgers? The only thing I will say about Aaron Rodgers, I think they did do a lot of work in his rookie year with Aaron Rodgers to change up his throwing motion and stuff, because I think he had kind of like that college quarterback motion where you hold the ball up here and stuff. So they did have to do some work on him, but I mean, he could have learned that in the the first rookie mini camp and all of that, and he eventually would have become Aaron Rodgers anyway. I think if you get thrown in and you quote unquote get ruined, you weren't going to have a long NFL career. You might have had a little longer NFL career by sitting the first year, but like David Carr, he got thrown in on the Texans, and that's why he got ruined. Okay, but it wasn't like the next year the Texans were very good in his second year. So even if he sat the first year and then came in his second year, he just would have got his ass kicked in the second year and the third year. And he still played for 6 years on the Texans, 7 years, and then he went over to the Giants. So I don't buy that, he's going to get ruined. He'll be fine. Now, does that mean the product is going to be any better? I don't think so. Okay? It might be a little more exciting. You got the two young guys in the back now with Dart and Scatterboo, and they might be able to run the RPO, which I don't even really like. And I think they should stop doing that with Dart. Okay? Dart is not Lamar Jackson. Okay? You shouldn't be really designing too much for him to run. Maybe a QB draw or a bootleg out and he can run it. Really, his legs and his mobility should be used to buy time so he can make a downfield throw. Stop putting your quarterbacks in harm's way with these RPOs and all this other stuff. So anyway, do I think the results will be any better? Probably not. Will the games be a little more exciting? Maybe. But at least you'll have a reason to watch now. At least we could potentially see the progress each week of a rookie quarterback learning how to play in the NFL like we had with Eli Manning. Or at the very worst, we'll find out this isn't our guy. He's playing just as bad in week 15 as he played in week 4. So he's not getting it. And then the new regime, it will free them up to decide. Do we think we can work with this kid and make him into a really good quarterback? Or are we seeing things on tape that, no, he just doesn't have what it takes to be an NFL quarterback, and now in our first draft as a new regime, we got to find that new quarterback or go out and get one, trade for one, go in free agency, whatever. I don't think that'll be the case. I think he will progress throughout the year, and I do think he has a bit of that it factor, but of course, the NFL can humble you real quick, and that it factor could disappear. But for now, I do think he has that it factor, that certain something about him. And I'm not just talking about the way he played in the preseason, just the way he carries himself, the way he talks in press conferences and talking to the media. And again, all this could go away. Play one game in the NFL and you get obliterated and then you're shell-shocked. But again, people go see it and that'll be messed up why he was playing. Well, you know what? If that happens, then he's not your guy. If after one season or whatever you're shell-shocked and you can't play, then you're not the guy. Okay, this is a tough market to play in. The NFL's a tough sport. Okay, you want to walk around and wear the chain and look like you're the villain in a football movie. You got to play the part. You got to be mentally tough, and you gotta bring some energy, and you got to make some plays. So I do think he will. I don't think the results will be much different. I think we lose to the Chargers, and I think we play the Saints close. Maybe we win, maybe we lose. And then who knows? Maybe down the stretch, the last 5 games of the season, he'll steal a win here or there, because we're playing some beatable teams like the Cowboys in the last game of the season. And, I think we play the Bears. So there's opportunity there to couple Dart's progress throughout the season, because he'll be seeing those teams at the end of the season, with playing more beatable teams. So he might actually be able to maybe win 2 games at the end of the season. Maybe he could steal a win, through one of the, here, so whatever. But even if we end up with 3 wins or 4 wins, at least we're watching progress. Okay? Although I do think at that point the coaching staff, if they can't win at least 5-6 games, I think this staff, at least the staff is gone. I don't know about the GM, but the staff will be gone. Or everybody might be gone. So we'll see. But it'll definitely be more interesting this Sunday.